To review the 15 katakana that I've introduced to you so far, I'm now going to write 12 words that use the katakana that you've learned so far. Before we start, I need you to know that in katakana, it's possible to use a hyphen. And what the hyphen does is it lengthens the sound of the katakana right before it. So in hiragana, you probably learned that to make a sound long or double the length, you needed to add an extra hiragana. So for okaasan, you had to write o, ka, and then to make ka-san long, you needed to add an a, oka-san. Well, in katakana, you don't have to do that. All you have to do is add a hyphen after the long sound katakana. So for example, if I wanted to write the word esa, esa, and both the e and the sa are long, I'm going to write a katakana e and a katakana sa. And instead of being e, sa, being two short syllables, e, sa, if I want e, sa, if I want them both to be long, then I'm going to add a hyphen after each one. Now this word is 4 syllables instead of 2 syllables. So instead of this one, which is esa, esa, if I add hyphens here, now it's esa, esa. Can you hear the difference between esa and esa? So here's the first word. Some of them I'm going to ask you to guess what the word is in English because it comes from English. Other times it'll be a little more difficult and I'll just ask you to say it out loud. For each of these, as I write them, please say the word out loud. This is something that some people put on food to make it taste better. If you have a piece of paper in front of you, please write down in English what you think this word means after you pronounce it out in katakana. 2番 Pronounce this out loud, and this is something that you might eat on your birthday. Right, 3番 These all have to do with food and drink so far. You might enjoy this on a cold day. 4番 This is not a food or drink. This is a man's name or a boy's name. This is a hard one to figure out. How would you pronounce it out loud? This one might be a hard one to guess. Because in English it really has an R in it in the middle. And it has a TH sound also in the middle. But because the Japanese language does not have an R sound or a TH sound, it ends up sounding like this in katakana. So how do you pronounce the name Arthur in Japanese? はい、次です。This is something that you'll find on a playground. And you need 2 people to enjoy it. はい、次。 And this is something that you might say if you agree. Right, 次. This food is actually 2 words, but in Japan, we often only use the first word. It's a cold dessert. And can you guess what the second word might be if the whole name of it were to be said? Right, 次. And this next word is if you are being eco-friendly. Since if you already know hiragana, then you should know that katakana, ten and maru accents work exactly the same way. So you should be able to read this word. Oops. Something in your home that's very useful to you besides electricity and water. It's one of the utilities. 10番, another food. I'm going to erase that since I didn't write that so well. A 3-syllable word. Sorry, a 5-syllable word. They eat this in Germany a lot. はい、11番. There's a famous circus called the Cirque du Soleil, and it was in Tokyo in 2011. And one of the shows that it did, that they put on, had this name. Hi, and the last one is 1 katakana, and it's not a word, but I have to do it all by itself because I couldn't think of any words that used this katakana in it that I could think of, that I could create only using the first 15 katakana that you've learned. So, はい、このカタカナは何ですか？はい、終わりです。